Courtauld, we are very excited to introduce you to a major exhibition that we are hosting, and that is Michelangelo's Dream, on show at the Courtauld Gallery from the 18th of February until the 16th of May 2010. This exhibition, which brings together major international loans, is celebrating and exploring in depth one of the most famous Renaissance drawings ever made in the world, essentially. Also one of the greatest treasures of our own collection, and that is Michelangelo's Dream, a work which Michelangelo produced in his late 50s. Michelangelo was at the height of his career. He was extremely famous, certainly the most famous living artist of the time. The drawings that we bring together here are so-called presentation drawings, and these presentation drawings were works that Michelangelo produced for his closest friends, highly finished, highly refined works that are focusing on allegorical and mythological topics. This particular group of works was created for one of Michelangelo's closest friends, and that is Tommaso de' Cavalieri, a Roman nobleman whom the artist met in the winter of 1532 and immediately fell passionately in love with. The Dream is probably one of these presentation drawings which Vasari mentions in his Life of Michelangelo, published in 1568, and this whole group is mentioned there, and that is the Titius, which we present here in the center of the room, the Phaeton, the Bacchanal, and the fourth work that Vasari mentions is the Ganymede. This particular group of works bringing the art of drawing to new heights, because they were not works that were preparatory for other genres, for painting or for sculpture, but they were made for their own use, for their own appreciation, for their own sake. Cavalieri was the owner of poetry as well as the recipient of letters that Michelangelo wrote for him. In these letters and in these poems we see Cavalieri as someone who is fervently loved and passionately loved by Michelangelo, but we also see that these works, both the drawings as well as the poems, were not very private, intimate works, but they were publicly well known. And most importantly, we see that in a letter that is also here in the exhibition, a letter that Cavalieri wrote to Michelangelo in September 1533, and it mentions that he had received a poem as well as a group of works that he mentioned, and these are the presentation drawings. The Phaeton having arrived, he said, and he said that everybody in Rome actually came and studied these works, among others the Pope as well as the Cardinal de' Medici, and how well known they were in the time. Despite the Dream's fame, its meaning has remained rather elusive until today. From above, a beautiful young being with wings, a spirit, is approaching the youth and raises him to a new life. This central theme of rebirth is an element that we explore in the exhibition more in detail by bringing together a group of resurrection drawings that Michelangelo worked on at exactly the same time, around 1532-1533. This particular work is a glorious drawing, one of the perfect drawings that exist. This particular work shows Christ gloriously rising out of the tomb, similar to the Dream that explores the central theme of the Dream, which is the rising to a new life. Our exhibition further explores the topic, the central theme of virtues and vices, also the dream and sleep, by bringing together a group of early allegorical drawings and prints by very important contemporaries of Michelangelo, most importantly probably Albrecht Dürer, the German Albrecht Dürer, as well as Andrea Mantegna and Marcantonio Raimondi. There was actually culture in Italy in the time to eagerly and intensely discuss and study these types of drawings among humanist friends, and the dream is certainly one of the greatest, perhaps the greatest of all of them.